Right now?
Yeah.
I'll flip it around.
Okay.
So we got to the portage, and we noticed immediately that things had changed. We had a pretty big storm roll through last night, and heavy winds. We had a tree fall down in our campsite.
With low battery.
Low bat. So the tree fell the opposite way, actually fell across our access to our fire pit, and came pretty close to our canoe. Luckily, we had the canoe flipped over, and it was sitting between a couple of rocks, so it wasn't going to hit it even if it went all the way to it. It landed a little short. So as a result, the portage had some blowdown as well. Nothing that blocked the trail easily to step over. And the rain that we got earlier in the week made some of the sections that we walked last Friday that were dry or dry-ish just a complete muckathon. Sometimes you'd sink up to your knee. And of course, the last 400 yards of that portage as you head to the Lake Southanox was extremely boggy and mucky and quite the challenge. At one point we were swimming with the canoe just to get it to the end of the portage. And then we paddled across the Lake Southanox again into a headwind until we finally turned east, and then we ran with the wind. And then the rest of the portaging from that point was super easy. And then we ended up on a lake between basically that Lake Southanox and Lund. I think we have to do 3 portages tomorrow. They're all kind of longish, but should be no problem. We've lightened the load quite a bit over the week. For breakfast, we had what? Okay, I'm working on it. For breakfast, we had pancakes, bacon, hash browns. Lunch was salami and rye bread. Dinner was tortellinis with a pesto sauce and a chocolate cheesecake. We sort of ran out of time. We had to wait out a rain squall that came through. Didn't really want to go out and cook in the rain, so we waited for that to pass, and then we had a nice meal, and it was nice and warm. Anyways, Jackson with the fishing report.
We didn't do any fishing today. Wildlife report. We saw some birds and 1 turtle, which was pretty interesting. And we also went on this one portage with just a ton of blueberries, like a lot. And we stopped for 15 minutes and got like 1/3 of a Nalgene bottle. So we got a whole bunch for our oatmeal tomorrow.
I actually was walking across the portage with the canoe and a food pack, and I was actually able to reach out and scoop blueberries on the fly and eat them as I was portaging. I'm not sure I've ever been able to do that, and these things are just fat from the rain that we got earlier in the week. Just totally perfect.
Mailbag.
Mailbag?
You hold
I'll hold the camera.
Okay. First question. What was your favorite campsite? Brian Mendelius.
Hey, Big B, good to hear from you. Wish you were here, although I don't know where you'd fit in this tent. My favorite campsite was probably the second campsite we took on Young Lake. Just absolutely perfect. Had a front porch, great swimming, good boat landing area, had some blueberries. The only thing it didn't have was the sunset. Awesome fishing. Jackson raked in tons of fish off the waterfront where we stored the boat. I mean, he was getting 3 in a row, 4 in a row, and then it would kind of cool off, and then he'd get 3 or 4 in a row, and he was catching keeper walleye. We ate a ton of walleye on that lake. Just absolutely loved it. Least favorite is probably the one we're in right now, but it's still pretty awesome. So we've really been having a good time. Hopefully you can come on one of these trips soon.
Second question. How many fish have you caught, Mr. Wettergreen?
Mr. Wettergreen, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. We were talking about that today as we were paddling. We figure we got probably 75 each, somewhere in that neighborhood. There were times where we were just getting them all the time, and there were other times that we had to work at it. We had that front come through, and I think that maybe slowed things down a little bit, but we still caught them. Every day we fished, we caught fish.
Last question. How are the blueberries, Grandpa?
Oh, the blueberries. Like we've been saying earlier in our video tonight, absolutely fantastic. Tons of blueberries. Just the portages are loaded with them. I mean, it is just awesome. We'll stop and pick them and eat them. And today we filled up a Nalgene bottle with them, or a third of a Nalgene bottle. But we're going to be putting those in our oatmeal tomorrow. So yeah, the blueberries absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow and doing a fly-in trip with you.
Product review.
Oh, product review. We obviously couldn't. Well, what I want you to do is go ahead and close your eyes. Okay, they're all closed. I want you to picture a canoe paddle. Now I want you to picture the Woodland Caribou canoe paddle. Now you might wonder, what is a Woodland Caribou canoe paddle? Well, a Woodland Caribou canoe paddle is a paddle that not only paddles your canoe, certainly that's its primary function, but it also serves as a tool or a cutting board to fillet fish, or perhaps cut bait, or perhaps at lunchtime cut your salami. You need to know your Woodland canoe paddle, because obviously the side you cut bait on with your Woodland canoe paddle is not the same side you want to be cutting your salami, but you probably have already figured that out. Anyways, anything else?
No.
All right, that's it for John and Jackson. He's gonna pan out. He's gonna show you the inside of our tent. We know you're used to much grandiose
Okay.
views. Are we done?
Yeah.
All right, we're done. Good night.